You need recruiters to notice you, so that means you need to be where they are and they're on LinkedIn. Other applicants are on LinkedIn. These are the people who you are competing against for these jobs. If you're not where they are, then you're not taking advantage of additional opportunities that your competitors are.
I'm Lisa Harding, ex-EdTech CEO turned certified teacher career coach. It wasn't all that long ago that I was recruiting, interviewing, and hiring teachers for roles in corporate America. Teachers that ended up being some of my all-time best employees. Fast forward through my own career transition, where I left my role as CEO to become a stay-at-home mom, I now work with and empower teachers to transform their lives by turning their once distant career dreams into realities. In this podcast, I give you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to help you do the same. If you're a burnt-out teacher or simply need a change and you're looking to create a life you love, you're in the right place, friend. Let's get started. Hello, my name's Lisa Harding. I'm joined tonight by subject matter expert De'Ara Bennett, and I can't wait to introduce De'Ara to you. I actually started following De'Ara on LinkedIn probably about a year ago when I started the Facebook group, and I loved the content that she was putting out there. I messaged her, introduced myself, and then we became professional connections, and I networked with her. So it's a great example of how networking can really bring you together with people, and I can't wait for De'Ara to share her strategies more in depth. She is a professional LinkedIn strategist, and she does ghostwriting and LinkedIn profiles and content for founders, CEOs, and executives. She also has a background with content marketing, and kind of what I love the most was that she's also a former teacher. So what better expert to learn from than someone that's been there, done that. Her contact information's on the screen, but there's no better way to introduce her than just turn it over and welcome De'Ara.
Hi, everybody. I am so happy to be here, and thank you, Lisa. We're just going to jump right in so that you can learn as much as possible in this 30 minutes. So, why do I need LinkedIn? This is a question that I get all the time, typically from transitioning teachers who are really frustrated that it's taking so much to get an interview. And it makes sense. You know, a few years ago, you can just use one general resume, apply to all the jobs you're interested in, and then get interviews just like that. That's just not how it works anymore. So why should you use LinkedIn? 87% of recruiters are using LinkedIn, and that was before the pandemic. So I don't even know what that number is now. That number hasn't been put out there. But if 87% were using it before, I know it's much higher now. And you need recruiters to notice you. So that means you need to be where they are and they're on LinkedIn. Other applicants are on LinkedIn. These are the people who you are competing against for these jobs. If you're not where they are, then you're not taking advantage of additional opportunities that your competitors are. You can also learn more about your desired role, because if your newsfeed is curated and you're following people who are in the role that you want, you'll start to learn about the terminology that they're using. You'll start to understand the trends and just the needs of people in that role. And so it's really a great way to immerse yourself into the role that you're interested in. You can also gain internal referrals through networking, discover opportunities that aren't on Indeed, and learn the language of your desired career. And it's another opportunity to tell your career story. So many teachers are like, I wish I could say more than what's on my resume. There's so much more to me than what I can put in this 1 or 2 page document. LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to do that. All right, so when it comes to your profile, first thing you need to do is check your settings and make sure that it's set to public and it's not in creator mode. You set it to creator mode when you're going to be putting a lot of content out there. You might decide to do that once you're in your role if you want to put a lot out there after that. But as a job seeker, there's no need for it to be in creator mode because you want people to connect with you, not just follow you. And setting your profile to public is important because more than likely, recruiters aren't going to be your connections for every job that you apply for. And so you need them to be able to view your profile. And if you have premium, you can see people who have viewed your profile. And you'll probably notice that when you apply for jobs, sometimes they end up viewing your profile, whether or not they reach out. You know, it just depends on the person, but you can see where they are viewing your profile. So it's good to have it public so that there's something for them to see when they go to it. have a photo. Unless you have, some kind of reason that you don't want to put your face out there, having a photo greatly increases the chance that they will accept your connection request as well. Your headline needs to be filled out. It shouldn't just say teacher in XYZ school district, because that's not the kind of job that you want. Now, I'm not one of those people who will say to claim that you have a role that you don't have. I personally feel like that's dishonest, but you do need to have an optimized headline so that recruiters can find you and they can instantly know what kind of job you're seeking. So that might mean, if you have your open to work banner on, they know you're open to work, but then in your headline, you might put, let's say you're interested in instructional design. Don't put that you're an instructional designer if you're not, but instead you can put instructional design. Okay, so you're not saying this is my role, but you're saying this is the field that I'm looking to get into. And then you can also add some after that if you have specializations that you want to focus on. Complete your about section. Again, your about section needs to be optimized. And when I say optimize, I mean, it needs to have certain keywords that recruiters will be able to, so that when recruiters search, your profile can pop up as a match. So if you need to have the keywords for a specific role, you've probably heard not to just apply for any and every role that's out there. It's because it's pretty impossible to include keywords for multiple roles and not look like you're all over the place. Just imagine if someone said, I want an education job, and they talk about their experience being a custodian, and they're using keywords for being a school nurse, and they're using keywords for being a teacher, and using keywords for being a counselor. Someone looking at that is going to be like, what in the world does this person even want to do? So that's why you need to focus in, look at job descriptions, see what kinds of words are repeated, and tell a story in your about section about what you've done and how you're excited to pursue opportunities in whatever field it is you're looking to enter. Your experience section, focus on the experience that's relevant to the job that you want, not everything that you've done. So it's more so focused on the job, not focused on you. So for example, I was a business and marketing teacher. And so when I was looking for content marketing clients, because I did it as a freelancer, my experience section focused solely on the things that I did in my job that was related to marketing. So not the content I taught, but like, the marketing that I did for homecoming, the marketing that I did for different fundraisers. That's what I focused on in my experience section, because those were the experiences that I could get those keywords in on. Providing instruction to students, that's not relevant to marketing jobs, so I didn't mention that. And it's not about hiding that you're a teacher. And this is good info for your resume too. It's not about hiding that you were a teacher. It's telling them what they want to hear. I always say it's like, if a test question is what's 2 + 2 and you put periodic table of the elements, it's like, okay, nobody asked you about that. The question's wrong. That's how it looks sometimes when these jobs are saying they want someone who can, do X, Y, Z, and you put, well, I manage classroom behavior. So don't do that. Think about, what will they care about? How do you know what they care about? They put it in the job posting. Education, you can put fill out your education part just so that they can see what degrees you have. You don't have to include years. When I help people with resumes, I actually tell them not to include years for their education, simply because of ageism, which is illegal, but real. So I just say don't include it. I probably include mine because I'm not job searching, but you don't have to include it. It'll still be optimized, but you do need to complete it. And again, make sure you're using relevant keywords in every section. All right, now networking. This is the part that is super scary for a lot of people. And I've heard people say, well, this shouldn't take all that. I understand. However, it might take all of that. So you might have to get outside of your comfort zone and network because you're trying to get a job by any means possible. So when it comes to networking, be intentional. What this means is that most of your connections should not be other educators. if the majority of your connections are transitioning teachers, how they can't help you get your next job. Okay. And so if all of your connections or most of your connections are transitioning teachers, when you get on LinkedIn, all you're seeing is transitioning teacher content, stuff about why they're leaving the classroom and just all these things that aren't moving you forward. What that does, that keeps you stuck into a mentality of transitioning, and you're not trying to stay in that phase for long at all. So connect with people who are in the field that you want to enter, so that that's the kind of content you see. You can connect with transitioning teachers who post content that's useful to the transition, but just be intentional and don't say, well, I need to get to 500 connections, so I'm going to connect with everyone who's a teacher. It's easy, but it's comfortable, but that's not really how you get a job today, by doing what's easy and comfortable. Connecting should also be mutually beneficial. So you'll see when you go to someone's profile, you can connect with them or you can follow them. When you connect with them, that means that you see their content and they see your content. If you aren't really posting on LinkedIn, then I recommend just following other people. Or if there's a reason for the connection. So some recruiters, they will connect because they want to have you in their network. People who are in the field that you want, sometimes they'll connect if you send them a personalized invite, which I always recommend. But just starting out, follow people for a while and then engage with their content. And when I say engage with their content, that means comment on their post. And I have a slide about commenting later on. But yeah, comment on their post to show that you're actually, not just lurking, to show them that you like the content they're putting out there, and they'll appreciate it. They'll appreciate your comments, your likes, all of that kind of stuff. And so then after you do that for a few days, you can send them a personalized invite and become connections. That is the method that I believe is the best. LinkedIn only allows people 30,000 connections, which sounds like a lot when you're just starting out, but you have to remember a lot of these people who are in the industry you want to go into, they've been in it for a while. They might've had LinkedIn for 10, 12 years. And so it's very easy to get to that. And so people might be a little more picky with their connections. The best way to make sure that they accept it is to engage with their content and then send that personalized connection request. All right, so posting. You do not have to post.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Teacher Career Transition Academy. Our academy provides expert career coaching, professional resume and cover letter templates, small group coaching sessions, and a supportive peer network. The best way to jumpstart your career change journey is to enroll in my free Beyond the Classroom Masterclass. Visit teachercareertransitionacademy.com/masterclass to enroll now. I'll also drop the link to register for free in the show notes of this episode. This free masterclass is sure to kickstart your journey or give you the boost you need to move the needle if you're already in the career change process. Enroll for free at teachercareertransitionacademy.com/masterclass.
You do not have to post. Posting is helpful because it allows you to share things about you that your resume and profile don't show. It allows you to just show some personality, stay on your connections radar. It does all of that stuff, but it's not absolutely necessary. It's not the most important thing. But if you're going to post, there are some things to post and things not to post. And I see these all the time and it frustrates me. But people probably wouldn't be too receptive if I message them and I'm like, hey, don't post this because it's a bad look. So I'm telling y'all so that however many of y'all are here, y'all know. So what not to post? Posts that say teachers make great project managers, teachers make great instructional designers, teachers make great this. Do you want them to hire teachers or do you want them to hire you? If you just want them to hire teachers, they can hire one of the other 199 teachers who applied. If you want them to hire you, you need to talk about why you would make a good instructional designer, why you would make a good project manager, why you would make a good whatever role it is that you want. I understand there's this urge as teachers. I'm a former teacher, so I get it, to help each other out, to be an advocate and all of that kind of stuff. But you need to take care of you and get your job first. So instead of posting, teachers do this, this, and this, post about yourself, because when you do that, you're putting teachers in a box, and I have yet to meet 2 teachers who do the exact same things. And so in your attempt to get people to change the way that they view teachers, you're actually sending the message that all teachers are the same. And if all teachers are the same, what's special about you? They need to know that in order to hire you. So just skip to talking about that instead. I'm looking for a job. Any leads? What kind of job are you looking for? Like, I've literally seen posts like that. I have to get out of the classroom. My mental health is suffering. Any leads? No one is going to do the heavy lifting for you. And you're a teacher, so you know how to work hard. You have to do your part to find the role that you want, that you're interested in. And that's when you can appeal to your network about jobs in that specific role. But just asking any leads, what that does is it makes it look like you're just open to everything and that you're desperate. And even if that's the case, you don't want to send that message, because to a recruiter or hiring manager, it might look like, well, why isn't anybody hiring this person? It's just not very, it's not beneficial to look like you don't have focus. I've also seen people post another rejection, or I had a great interview. You're giving too much information. Way too much information. Like I just said, companies don't want someone who's constantly getting rejected, so don't tell them. Everybody who's looking right now is getting tons of rejection emails every day. That's just what the job market is like right now. But there's no reason to post about it every time. Even when you have a great interview, there's no need to post about that either, because no one wants to feel like their company is going to be your second, third, or fourth choice. And everything that you post is visible to whoever visits your page. So if they scroll back, they can see, okay, well, they've been interviewing for a really, really, really long time. That's nobody's business. So don't post that. And then reasons why you're leaving teaching. Absolutely do not, under any circumstances, post info like that. I can't think of one scenario where it will benefit you in your job search to post about why you're leaving teaching. The reason why is because that is it's negativity. And that's not, people don't really want somebody who's bringing negativity to work for them, to be on their team. And the focus should not be on where you've been. The focus is on where you're trying to go. If you say, I'm leaving teaching because I'm ready for work-life balance and I'm tired of, most people aren't leaving because of the students, but I need more work-life balance and I'm not getting paid enough and all of this kind of stuff. It sounds like you're coming on here making demands, but you're not thinking about what you can actually do for the company. Now, the reasons why you're leaving teacher are all valid. And that's why there are Facebook groups like Lisa's, and then the one that I moderate for transitioning teachers, where you can go in there and you can talk to your peers. But on a professional site where you want these people to hire you, don't waste time talking about why you're leaving teaching, because nobody's going to say, you know what, I'm going to hire this person because they want work-life balance, because that's not a reason for them to hire you. That's why you can choose them if they give work-life balance, but that's not really something that's helpful to your job search. So instead, post about what you're learning. I keep using instructional design because that's like a super popular one with transitioning teachers. But if you're learning how to use Articulate, talk about that. Talk about your favorite part of it. Share what you've been creating. Share pieces of your portfolio and add it to the featured section on your profile, or just post about it in general. Talk about similarities between your experience and the job you want. So instead of teachers make great this, talk about how you love using Articulate to create a training for your team. Talk about things like that. Questions for people in the field. What's your favorite instructional design authoring tool? My favorite is this, or just post nothing at all. Like I said, you don't have to post. It's not absolutely necessary. All right, now commenting. Commenting is something that it is very useful for you to do. If you're not going to post, commenting will still help you get your name out there and show that you're active on the platform. It's good to show that you're active on the platform because if a recruiter goes to your page and they see, you haven't posted anything and you haven't commented on anything, it looks like you don't use it and there's no use in them reaching out to you on there. So commenting is great. What shouldn't you comment? Negativity. Again, sometimes I see people who offer services to transitioning teachers and they will post asking why you're leaving education. So yeah, you're not the one posting it, but if you comment on those posts, you are then still leaving a record of that negativity, and that's not going to be helpful. And also, if somebody asks you why you're leaving, if somebody on LinkedIn is trying to get teachers to comment about why they're leaving education, that is not someone to hire to help you with your transition because they don't understand how that can harm you in your job search. They're just looking for comments on their post. They're thinking about themselves and not actually helping you. So that's something to think about if you see that done. Great post, or thanks for sharing. You can comment things like that, but just know those aren't the meaningful comments that help you when it comes to networking. Sometimes I'll comment on posts like that just to show support, but if I'm actually trying to get a client, or if I'm telling a teacher how to get attention on LinkedIn, I'll tell them, don't just post great posts or thanks for sharing. That doesn't show anything about you. It doesn't show the way you think. It doesn't foster more communication, none of that. Interested or just applied. I don't know why people just comment interested. That doesn't make any sense. You just don't do that. If you see the job and it says interested, go apply for it. You don't have to say interested. If you've applied for it, send that person a message letting them know that you applied for it and giving them a quick overview about why you'd make an excellent candidate. But you don't have to comment all that stuff. Just apply to interested. That falls into that category of saying too much, giving away too much information about what you're doing in your job search. Again, remember, comments are visible to everyone, not just your connections. And you've probably noticed if you're already on LinkedIn that you can see what your connections comment on. So the people you're connected to can also see what you're commenting on. It'll just show up on their news feed. So be mindful of that. So what do you comment? I'm trying to talk so fast to get through this, so I keep stumbling. But what should you comment? Comment your perspective on something. If someone is asking, for different perspectives, what do you think? Comment your perspective. Don't talk about stuff you don't know anything about. But if you do have something to add, then do that. What resonated with you and why? If there's something that stood out to you in the post, say that and then tell them why it resonated with you. People post because they want to have these conversations. They aren't just posting for no one to see. They want people to comment. And so don't go into it thinking like, well, I don't want to say the wrong thing and I don't want to do this. There are wrong things to say, which I put on the last slide. But if you're just talking about what resonated with you and why, they'll appreciate that. And that can start a conversation. I can't tell you how many people I've developed professional relationships with on LinkedIn simply because I'm always commenting on their stuff. We have great conversations. Next thing I know, they're in my messages and we're talking. I've gotten ed tech companies as clients for my freelance content marketing. I've gotten clients that way because they just love interacting with me in the comments and they reach out to me seeing if I can write for them. So you can still get a lot of attention from doing comments. And then questions. That's another way to push conversation further and learn more as well.
I'll see you in part 2.